is Brittany, and I am the host of the At HomeEducator Podcast. And I wanted to say welcome officially to Season 2. Season 2! So we have gone through Season 1, a summer series, and now we are on Season 2, and I am so excited to be back into everything, you guys. This summer was a whirlwind. If you have been listening, you know that I moved across the country. I have been trying to adjust to a new house, and we've been doing renovations and everything like that. And so I am just ready to get back to normal, and this is one step in doing that. So I am pumped for starting the new season. That being said, we're in a new season. So I wanted to start out this podcast by saying hello. My name is Brittany, and I'm the host of this podcast, like I said before. I did want to just share a little bit about me, just so you can know me if you haven't been here before. I was a brick and mortar middle school teacher for 2 years before I had my first daughter. And after having a baby, I decided to stay home and take care of her, like I'm sure many of you guys out there have chosen to do too. And, you know, when you do that, you kind of give up a part of your career, at least for a little while, and you decide to, you know, invest a lot of time with your family and with your children. And that's something that I did very willingly because I love my family. I love my daughter. I love spending time with her. But like I'm sure a lot of you who are listening to this did too, after a little while, I really started to miss work. I was a teacher, and teaching is truly one of my passions in life, and I missed it a lot. So I started to seek out opportunities that I could have working from home, and I found a really great company called VIPKid. If you are listening to this, I am sure you have heard of the company before. I have talked about it a lot on my podcasts, and I won't go into all of the details. I did a whole podcast on what VIPKid is, so I will link that in the description for you, so you can go check that out if you want to know a little bit more in detail what it is all about. But basically, VIPKid is an online teaching company where you teach short 25-minute English classes to students in China from your home. So you teach from your home. And I am very, very grateful for the fact that I do get to teach from home, because it has allowed me to fulfill my want to teach the way that I miss education, still feel like I'm doing something in my career field, and also I get to stay home with my daughter and do fun things. So I started with that company with VIPKid in December of 2018, and I decided to create this podcast in February of 2019. I was really, really enjoying my teaching, and I was really, really enjoying getting the opportunity to stay home. And the reason why I started the podcast is because I wanted to share my passion with other people. If you are new to the community of online teachers, it is not just with VIPKid, it is with other teaching ventures as well. There are many, many companies out there, Magic Ears, GoGoKid, tons and tons of these companies out there. They have great community support surrounding them through platforms like Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and everything, because we're all teachers, and inherently I feel like teachers are just great people to be around and to be friends with, because we want to help others and we want to help each other. So it's a great community, and as I started getting more involved with it, I really wanted to share my story as well, and that's why I started this podcast. Like I said before, education is truly my passion, I feel, in life. And educating others and sharing my personal experiences is something that brings so much pride and joy to my heart. And this podcast gives me an opportunity to do that for others on a scale that I never thought would be possible. So if you're listening to this, I truly, truly thank you for taking the time to sit down and listen to me. It is my hope that in listening to this podcast, you will learn something. You will learn how to be a successful at-home educator yourself. And when I say at-home educator, I do not just mean working for an online company. I mean educating your own kids, educating your friends, educating your family, educating other educators on things that we are passionate about, on subjects that maybe we don't get a chance to talk about all the time with our friends, subjects that maybe you want to know a little bit more about, just advice, Sometimes it's good to just relate to someone on some level, and I hope that I can provide that to you. And also, strategies to use if you do choose to either teach in a brick and mortar classroom or teach children across the world in China, online, whatever you choose to do. I hope that the things that I share in this podcast help you become a better educator all around, and that is my goal. So, that's me. Hi, hello. I hope that wasn't too much and I haven't scared you away. But yeah, that is this podcast. This is the At Home Educator Podcast, and I want to empower all of you to become better at-home educators yourselves. Now, you may be thinking, Brittany, the title of this podcast is a little bit confounding to me. It says an epiphany. That might seem a little bit dramatic. And I'm not going to lie, we might be starting out this season with a little bit of controversy. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive into this. So with VIPKid, they have something called a referral program, and it's a great program that they have. So basically what it is that if you are a teacher with VIPKid, you receive a code, and if you have a friend or a family member or someone who signs up with that code, VIPKid will give you a bonus for referring that person to the company. There are lots of different milestones. The more you refer, the more money you make, and there are a lot of people who have kind of made, for lack of a better word, a business out of this. And that's not to say that those people aren't truly passionate about helping people become teachers with the platform, because they really are, and they really are knowledgeable, and they really do want to help people. But the referral program has kind of gotten a bad rap of becoming kind of like pushy. Not necessarily with the people who are most well known for it, but with some people who do things like spend money on ads on like Craigslist or job listing websites, just so that somebody will put their referral code in and they can get money for it. These are people who are not truly helping people. The people who are the top referrers, the people who kind of are like, everybody knows them, they actually help people. So they do things like set up courses and websites and special mentoring sessions and things like that to help people. So I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who are just in it for the money, people who just want to get their code out there so they can make an extra buck here and there. So those are the people that have kind of gotten the referral game a little bit of a bad rap. And if you're already a teacher with VIPKid, then you know what I'm talking about. Probably already, but if you're not, then you might not know what I'm talking about at all. So I'm going to try my best to do the best explaining that I can. So recently, the company sent out a new referral guideline memo that said, well, they changed the referral guidelines, that said basically, like, if you are just a person that has like an Instagram account or anything like that, you cannot refer people. The people who you refer have to be your family or your friends. And everybody immediately freaked out. It was a very initial knee-jerk interpretation of the rules. People were changing their Instagram handles because they thought that the word VIPKid couldn't even be in the handle. People were doing tons of things like removing links from everywhere and deleting whole entire YouTube channels, and craziness struck. And people who were those top referrers, some of them, I feel like legit thought that they were going to lose their income because that's the majority of what they do. And like I said, they really are helping people, and it really is a great thing that they're doing, but that is what they do. That is a huge part of the income that they make in working for this company, for VIPKid. And so I'm sure that they were, for lack of a better word, shook. I feel like such a lame person using that word, but shook, right? They thought that VIPKid had pulled the rug out from underneath them and that, it was over, right? So it turns out that the company kind of backtracked a little bit and didn't change their guidelines, but, fixed how people were interpreting it. You did not have to change your YouTube or your Instagram handle. It wasn't like you couldn't say VIPKid in a video or else you'd get sued. Like, it wasn't anything crazy like that. And they started a new program called an affiliate program in which people can apply to become a VIPKid affiliate, and they can still refer tons of people like they were before and help tons of people like they were before. Basically, all that changed with the referral program is that you cannot have VIPKid in your website URL, which I think is a pretty good rule. That would be like somebody making like a thisistwitter.com, right? You can't do that because that confuses people. First of all, they think that you might be the actual brand and you're using a brand's name in your URL and you're not actually that brand. So that's besides the point. But anyways, that was one of the main things that was a big change with that. And so a lot of people have to now go back and change their websites and change their branding and things like that. And it is a big deal. But ultimately, I can see where the company is coming from. However, this kind of led me to having my epiphany. When I started this podcast, I promised you guys that I was going to be completely transparent with you. I started this podcast because I did want to help people. I do want to help people. Education is my passion, and I do want to help people, and I wanted to help people become better at-home educators. And in doing so, they may want to work for VIPKid. So this podcast and my website and everything was a great way to get my referral code out there and to help people. But, I'm going to be completely honest, it hasn't really worked. Right? I feel like I've been helping a lot of teachers who are already teachers with the company, a lot of people who are already in this realm of online teaching, but I haven't really had a lot of luck referring new people. And so when all of this controversy with the new referral guidelines and everything hit, it really made me think. Because I had to make a clear decision. Do I want to try and keep being a referrer and helping people that way? Or is there another direction that I can go? Where in which if VIPKid or the company that I'm working for did decide to do something that was drastic, where I couldn't refer people anymore, or it could completely change my business plan, if they did that, the rug couldn't be pulled out from underneath me. And so that is where my epiphany came from. And so I have decided to make a shift from directing this to new teachers to directing this podcast and this content to teachers who are already teachers or already stay-at-home moms or already educators in some way, shape, or form. And I'm really excited about it. So in the future, going forward, I hope that this podcast becomes a place where everybody can learn something, a place where moms can learn something, a place where homeschool teachers can learn something, a place where online educators can learn something, a place where brick and mortar educators can learn something. Like I said, really feel that education is my passion, and I really love learning about subjects and sharing what I've learned with others. And so from this point on, these podcast episodes will focus on much more general topics. These are topics that will help educators. They will help online educators. They will help moms. They will help dads. They will help parents, but they'll be a lot more general. So instead of maybe focusing directly on VIPKid, like the time that I made an episode that said, what is VIPKid? I will focus on something like, how has online ESL education changed the world? Or I don't know, I'm just making things up, but more general topics. So some of the things that I have planned for this season are super duper exciting to me. Obviously, I am continuing to work with other at-home educators, other people who work in this community, to set up interviews and discussions with them, because, sharing ideas and discussing these things with other people are a great way to spark new ideas, create a new conversations that are important and that need to be had. But I will also be creating podcasts with just me, because, I know you guys love to hear my voice, just me here in my room during nap time while my daughter's sleeping. I can talk to you. So it will also have subjects that apply to parents and moms and dads and homeschool educators and things like that. So more specifically, some of the things that I have planned are topics like screen time. How much time should your kid be spending on a tablet or at a TV screen or at a computer screen? Early literacy strategies. How do you introduce literacy to your kids? What are the best ways we could teach kids to read? So what are some of the strategies that platforms like VIPKid and the other online ESL platforms use to teach children, and what are the foundational educational schools of thought that are behind those strategies that they're using? I think that doing this will be really great. I think that'll be super interesting. I really love hearing about these topics, and I really hope that you guys do too. So this first episode is a little bit shorter than the episode, well, a lot of bit shorter than the episodes will be this season. But I just wanted to get out there my epiphany, and I wanted to, share it with you guys and hear your feedback. So as always, if there's something that you'd like to hear about or something that you'd like me to know, whether it's good or bad, or you just want to tell me your favorite color, feel free to reach out to me. I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook, and I also have a website in which you can reach me, and an email. And you will find all that information in the description of this podcast. So truly, truly thank you for listening. Truly, truly thank you for all of your support. And I so look forward to becoming better at-home educators and growing in this second season of the At Home Educator Podcast. So as always, make sure that you are playing often, teaching regularly, and living your best life. And I will talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful day or night or morning or afternoon or whenever you're listening to this, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you so much for listening. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end of this podcast. If you'd like to check out any of my older podcasts, then you can click here or here. If you'd like to follow me on any of my social media, then you can find those in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so that you are notified every time there is a new episode, and I cannot wait to talk to you again soon. Bye! Say bye-bye! Bye-bye!